Welcome to the first ever episode of the Middle of the Order podcast. My name is Andrew D'Agostino, and today I will be breaking down the shit show that fucking happened yesterday between Team Italy and the United States. Shocking upset yesterday. The final score 8-6 is Team Italy, with a win tonight, punches their ticket to bracket play. And if they lose, man, they got some interesting scenarios. These tiebreakers are a little interesting, but I'll break that down in a little bit. But let's get into it. Let's break down yesterday's game. The United States obviously fell 8-6, like I said earlier, and take a look. And let's break down the starting pitching. Early on thoughts, I thought Nolan McLean did not look sharp. He did not pitch his best game. Box score obviously states that. But watching it, his stuff looked flat. The velocity was there, but man, slider was middle of the zone, everything middle of the zone, missing middle. He looks like a guy that is still building his way up through spring training, like a lot of these guys in this tournament. But last night, McLean pitched 3 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, gave up 2 home runs, one to catcher Kyle Teal, and a 2-run shot by Sam Antonacci. Overall, not really impressed with Nolan McLean yesterday, but that's all I'm going to say. But man, I was impressed with the Team Italy starter, Michael Lorenzen. And he went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, a walk, 2 Ks. Probably pitched one of his best games in his career. This is an Italy pitching staff that kept Team USA scoreless for the first 5 innings. Very impressive, especially with that lineup. 1 through 9, so stars just slugging all over the place for that United States team. And man, very, 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 very impressed with Team Italy's offense. Came out of the gate swinging. Like I said, started up 3-0, but expanded that lead to 8-0. They were up 8-0 against Team USA, the favorites in this tournament, the dream team, as they said, coming into this tournament. And they never looked back. Team USA did push. They did have a good push with a solo shot in the 6th inning by Gunnar Henderson, a 3-run home run by Pete Crow Armstrong to bring the game within 8-4. And man, they were clawing their way back, man. Final 2 runs of the game. PCA had a home run to make it 8-6 in the 9th. But Aaron Judge strikes out with the tying run on base, and the final was 8-6. And the United States falls to Team Italy, and they fall to 3-1 in pool play. They don't control their own destiny. And but overall, man, they just didn't come ready to play. They looked sluggish coming out of the gate. Had 2 errors that basically lost them the game. The Brad Keller throw in the center field on a routine tapper back to the mound, easily turned 2. Inexcusable. That can't fucking happen. Main reason why they lost this game, it was his pitching and defense. Offensively, you can say whatever you want. You can say that they were held scoreless for 5 innings, but they showed up. I mean, what do you want them to do? They scored 6 runs in the final 3 innings of the game, 6 through 9. You can say what you want about the offense. Some of the key guys didn't really show up this game. But again, it's baseball. They're not always going to show up. You're not always going to depend on these guys to bring elite quality at-bats every single day. A couple things before I move on to Mark DeRosa's comments. And that just pisses me off. I like Mark DeRosa a lot. I think he's a great analyst. Think he's an okay manager, but yesterday, a complete fucking shit show. But one thing that I want to ask is, my 2 biggest takeaways of this line, I get that you got to play everybody in this tournament. Paul Goldschmidt should never play, except for facing a lefty. It was a mistake to not put Bryce Harper even in this, or not in the lineup. Even with the struggles, Bryce Harper should be playing every day for this team. Just too big of a bat. He could heat up any second. He's got to make these adjustments. He's got to get out of his head. With the Dave Dombrowski shit of him not being elite, it's definitely taking a mentally toll on him. We've seen it early on in this tournament that his at-bats have been god-awful. He's still playing great defensively, even though he had that one miscue the other night. But Bryce Harper's got to play every day. That's a non-negotiable for me. Another thing, I like Ernie Clement. I think he's a great ball player. But in a must-win like this, Bryce Terang has to play. Bryce Terang has been raking. He's batting .417 with a 1 OPS. Excuse me. That's a non-negotiable for me, too. He's got to play. Bryce Terang has been a game changer for Team USA, flipping the lineup in this tournament, batting in the lower third. You need guys like Bryce Terang playing for you in the lower third of your lineup to flip to the big guns like Witt, Henderson, Judge, Schwarber. But those guys haven't shown up either. The only guys that really showed up for me yesterday was Willie Smith, and Pete Crow Armstrong, who had himself a day, man. He's a special talent. Give him a lot of shit, but he showed up yesterday, man. He showed up. And, you know, you could say what you want to say about him, but he's a top 10 center fielder, maybe top 5 center fielder in baseball if he continues to keep this up. Last thing that I want to say about this game is very impressed by Team Italy's ability to slug. Knew that coming into this tournament, but didn't know they could slug like this. They only had 6 hits in this game. 3 of them were homers. The United States had 3 homers of their own. They out-hit Italy 11-6 in this game, but that didn't matter. Didn't matter, and Italy is the winner in this one. Last stat I'll throw out there, the United States 2 for 5 runners in scoring position, and Italy was 0 for 4 runners in scoring position. I'm telling you, those 2 errors cost the United States this game, and the pitching, but those 2 errors really cost the United States this game. Moving on, we're going to talk about the scenarios before I touch on Team Italy and Team Mexico's game. For Team Italy to advance, they just got to win outright tonight against Team Mexico. If they win outright today, the United States advances with them. Both of them are going to head into bracket play. Italy is going to take, I believe, the title. Yeah, they would have the head-to-head, so they would take the title and win Pool B outright. Scenario 2 in this for the United States to advance, Team Mexico has to win by 5 or more runs. So that is the other way the United States advanced based on runners per out tiebreaker. Again, these tiebreakers are weird, man. I've played baseball growing up. I've never seen some of these tiebreakers in tournaments. A lot of them are just run differential. Runs per out I've never seen in my life. But if you have more information on that, please let me know why it's better than run differential. We'll have a discussion on that. And then scenario 3, if Mexico wins with a lower scoring game, probably like a 3-2, that eliminates the United States from this tournament. So right now, the United States just needs one thing to happen to guarantee them, even though they have 2 paths. Italy just needs to win. That's all I want. If I'm a Team USA fan, I don't want the stress of, grinding in the bottom of the 8th. It's a 4-2 game. Mexico has the lead, and they don't score a run, and the United States is eliminated. And if the United States is eliminated, this is an embarrassment. With the collection of talent they have, this is like Alabama football. Highest blue chip ratio. That's like them not making the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs 2 years ago. That's like them not making the playoffs. A complete embarrassment. Mark DeRosa should be embarrassed. These players shouldn't be embarrassed. They played hard. The only guys I think should be embarrassed is Brad Keller for throwing the fucking ball in the center field. But this is the danger of playing in pool play, man. In a good pool like this. One bad game can define your whole tournament. We saw it right there. But I'm going to talk about Mark DeRosa. Mark DeRosa said some comments to the media on MLB Network Hot Stove with Matt Vasturgeon and Harold Reynolds. This is not a free ad. This is just what he was talking on. Stirred some controversy before the game, basically saying that the United States ticket was punched to the bracket play. Well, unfortunately, that was not the case. Mark DeRosa was not aware of this, apparently, until the game was being played. First off, I don't know how the fuck you do not know as a manager. Second, he managed this game like he didn't know. Can we talk? Let me just talk about this. I mean, Ryan Yarbrough coming in and pitching 2 1/3 innings with the guys that they have in the bullpen. I know Matt Boyd has been used for multiple games. But, man, they could have gotten like 2 innings out of Gabe Spire or somebody like that. You're kidding? The bullpen management has been one of my biggest criticisms of Mark DeRosa this tournament. And other than that, I'm not really that frustrated with him except for his shit he said in the media. The other thing he said in the media was regarding the victory over Team Mexico the day before, that some guys are going to come in a little drowsy. They were partying the night before. Great. Celebrate a victory all you want. But again, as a manager, you should not be saying that to the public, man. In a must-win game, I'm sorry. Like, as a former player, as a fan too, like, I understand you're excited and all that, but you should have that mindset. And I'm not trying to be that old head fucking dad. I know, I'm 21. But you should have that mindset of you win. Once you leave that ballpark, you go and you think about tomorrow. You think about the opponent you're playing tomorrow. You don't overlook Italy. Like I said in Pool B breakdown on Beer Bowl with Brian, This Italy team can't be taken lightly. And look what happened. They were taken lightly. They took advantage. They outslugged. They outpitched the United States. They played a clean game. They probably played their A-plus game. The United States played their D-plus game, and they fucking lost. So that's my main takeaway. But lastly, we're going to get into the Team Italy, Team Mexico game. I'm done talking about the United States and Italy. Let's just get in Italy and Team Mexico. And Team Mexico already has their projected lineup and projected starters out already. Javier Assad will take the pill for Team Mexico today. Very good pitcher for a tournament like this. I do want to make a statement that you could put the resumes aside, you could put the names aside, you could put everything aside. Awards, whatever, you got it, stats. It doesn't matter in games like this. It doesn't matter in tournaments like this. It showed yesterday. Damn well showed yesterday. A bunch of scrappy ball players from Italy knocked out some MVP winners, Gold Glove, Silver Sluggers. It doesn't matter. So, again, Javier Assad's got his work cut out for him with this Italy team riding emotional waves and the highest of highs that they could possibly get. A projected lineup for Team Mexico. Jared Duran's going to lead off. He's going to play right field. Man, he's been one of the hottest hitters in all of the sport in this tournament. As long as Italy can keep him off the bases, I actually see them having a great shot, and I'll tell you my winner after I break this down. Arozarena's playing in left field today. Non-negotiable. He's got to be in the lineup too. Jonathan Aranda probably hit one of the hardest balls in this entire tournament. Fatty with the daddy. Alejandro Kirk is the catcher. A right-handed contact bat. Not a lot of speed. Cost them a run against Team USA. Joey Meneses, Nacho Alvarez has been very impressive this tournament. Third baseman for the Braves. Nick Gonzalez, Alec Thomas, and rounding it up at shortstop, Ortiz. I already broke down this Mexico lineup on the Pool B breakdown. But for me, this is a lineup that could get to Aaron Nola, the veteran, the projected starter, the veteran for the Phillies. Had a down year last year. Had some injury history. Has a history of pitching well in big games. But again, like I said, throw the names, the stats, all that out of the water, the picture. I see them getting to Aaron Nola early. I see Jared Duran doing damage. He has that confidence again that he had in 24. He has that confidence again. He has that swing again. He's playing great defense. His power speed is going to take over this game. That is the key for Team Mexico to win, is if Jared Duran and Jonathan Aranda and Alejandro Kirk with Randy Arozarena, if he wants to play like the best player in the world like he can, that is how Team Mexico wins this game. They have to play a complete game. The same for Italy. Italy played their best baseball yesterday in this entire tournament. They had to play a perfect game to beat the United States. Do they have to play a perfect game to beat Team Mexico? No, not necessarily. I think the United States is just a way better team than Team Mexico. They dominated that game than they played them. But Team Italy could probably beat Team Mexico with their B- game. The amount of slug that they got, the depth in their rotation, the depth in that bullpen. They just got out of slug again. They got to do what they did yesterday. They got to hit homers. They got to, capitalize on mistakes. And Mexico makes a lot of mistakes. They have a lot of guys that make errors, like Kirk and Meneses is a DH, but not so great. They have a lot of good defenders, except for, Kirk sometimes. I don't know. I'm going to cut that out. That was a terrible fucking take. But anyway, my keys to the game: don't make mistakes if you're Team Mexico or Team Italy. Errors are going to cost them. But Italy's just got to outslug Mexico. And that's why I'm going to pick Italy to win. I think Italy is more experienced in this segment of this game with Nola pitching. I just believe in the experience here. I believe in the slugging ability, what they showed yesterday. If they could continue to play their best ball like they did yesterday, they're going to win this game. And it'll be close, probably like a 4-2 game. But I'm picking Team Italy. Let's go all around the world and finish this episode out. We're going to break down the final 2 games of the WBC pool. And that will be Team Canada and Cuba, which is, it's time right now. It's 3:28. I'm going to pick Canada. I'm not even looking at the score or anything like that. I just think Canada's the better team, better lineup. Josh Naylor, Bo Naylor, Owen Casey, Tyler O'Neill. they'll outslug him. They'll outpitch him. Cal Quantrill's on the bump right now. I don't think he's that great as he used to be, but a veteran guy that can get outs and potentially go deeper in the game. So I have Canada moving on. Like I said, I have Italy. And then the final game I'm going to break down is a big one. And this will be a game that I'll have on the background or probably split screened, if that's even possible on my TV, is the Dominican Republic, the 3-0 Dominican Republic, and Venezuela, who's also 3-0. Both of these teams already are advanced in pool play. They don't really have anything to play for, but honestly, both of them want that seed, the higher seed. Both of them 3-0. A lot of pride, historic rivalry right here. And that shows right now. I mean, former 2022 Cy Young Award winner Sandy Alcantara is taking the pill for the Dominican Republic. What to expect from him? High velo, nasty stuff. If he pounds his zone early, if he doesn't walk guys, I see the Dominican Republic just absolutely dominating this game. Sandy is on point. Now, if he's not on point, Venezuela has a great shot because this Venezuela offense is very good. With Willie Abreu, Ronald Acuna, Luis Ariz becomes Barry Bonds in this tournament. Both of the Contreras brothers, Markel Garcia, so on and so forth. But another guy who's been an X factor for this team and nobody's really talked about is Andres Jimenez, who's hit 500 with a 1.0 OPS early in this WBC tournament. Now, that is a guy for me that has to produce in this game to flip the lineup over to Acuna and Abreu and Ariz. Because when you can get, damage done in the bottom third, you're always going to have success in this game, flipping it over to the lineup, create chaos in the bases, and just give you a better opportunity to score runs, right? So if he could be a table setter, that's going to be a huge boost for this Venezuela offense. But the guy they're putting on the mound is a good one, and I know he's had a down year for the last couple of years, and that's Eduardo Rodriguez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hasn't been the same since he left the Tigers. I'll give him that. But a guy with a filthy changeup, he used to get it up there in 95, 96. He's had a couple of injuries, shoulder injuries, so on and so forth, which could affect his velocity. But man, if he could find resemblance of what he once was against a really good lineup of the DR, which arguably has a better lineup than Team USA, in my opinion, they have a good shot. They have a good shot with that offense. I said that the Dominican, if Sandy's on point, could dominate this game. But I'm going to rebuttal my point right here a little bit further. The Dominican lineup is good, but they got some holes, a little bit of holes. Ahmed Rosario is probably going to play today. He's a left-handed hitting specialist. They might slot him over, move Machado to DH, something like that. They're going to make some shifts in the lineup, of course. Wells, left on left is not his specialty, so he might struggle. But Agustin Ramirez might come in and hit. He can rig. But let's get to the point, Andrew. It's what you're all probably been saying right now. I'm going to pick the DR. I think the DR, as it stands on paper right now, Venezuela is probably going out and throwing one of their best pitchers in Eduardo Rodriguez, and I'll give them that. But the DR right now, what they have shown me is resilience, and they have shown unity. And something that Team USA hasn't shown is they're not going to come drowsy. They're going to come prepared to high energy. You saw it in the games against the Tigers, the Expedition games, where they're jumping over the railing of the dugout, showing energy. Energy matters in games like this. Energy matters in tournaments like this. Obviously, the skills and the talent differential, a little lean to the Dominican Republic. Like I said, Venezuela has a great lineup, great roster. But I'm picking the DR, and I think it will be a close game, possibly even a shootout, like a 6-5 victory for the Dominican Republic. But yeah, that's all I have for that, and that's all I have for the show. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the first ever Middle of the Order podcast. If you have not, like and subscribe, follow on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get our streams. Take advantage of it. We put out great content daily, and we're only going to get bigger from here. So thank you for tuning in, and I'm out.